Hello, everyone. This is Alexis Cohen, and I'm your host of Awakening Through Art Online Masterclass, creative practices to activate healing, inspire connection, and amplify love all around the world. Today, I am with Bodhi Simpson. Bodhi is a registered art therapist, co-founder of the annual Self-Compassion Symposium, and she provides individual and group art therapy sessions, workshops, trainings, and retreats that incorporate creative expression, and they work with imagination, intuition, and metaphor. Bodhi, welcome.
Hello, Alexis.
Hello. So nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. So, Bodhi, the first question I love asking my guests is, what is inspiring you the most these days?
Oh, goodness. What is inspiring the most these days? Well, actually, for me, I feel it's really just been important to keep a daily creative practice to let the inspiration come in. It can be so easy. It's such a busy life, and it can be easy to close up. And so I guess I've just been really working on being more open and more receptive and letting the inspiration come.
I love that you're bringing that up. Can you speak a little bit into the tendency to close up?
Yes, I just feel like it's so easy to get caught up in our day-to-day life, especially right now. We have a million texts to respond to and emails, and we have our children, and it's just a busier life more than ever. And even though I teach this for my living, it's so easy for me also to get off track and to remember, to forget that that I need to take the time to expand and to shift my energy, and just to hold space to be aware of what kind of energy I'm embodying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is so cool. This is one of those things that is weaving in through the series, that space of and the process of expansion, and how art and creativity plays a role in expansion. And so from your perspective, can you speak into that a little bit more? Like, first, how does art support expansion? Maybe the first question is, what does expansion mean? What does that even mean?
Oh gosh, these are great questions. So for me, expansion is, in taking time to slow down, I give myself to take responsibility to become aware of, again, what kind of energy is guiding my life. And art helps bring the invisible into the seen realm. And so once I can see it, then I'm conscious and I'm aware of the energy guiding my life. And then I can make shifts. And by shifts, I mean being able to consciously clear the heaviness and, the thoughts that I'm thinking, the emotions that are heavy. Emotions are vibrations, but they're information. So once I'm aware of what vibrations I'm holding, then I can consciously open and expand to a higher emotional frequency, a higher vibration. It's hard to put these things into words, but I find with art, we're able to express what we don't really have words for. So even if your thinking mind isn't able to really label what shifts are happening, you can feel the shifts. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah. And I think you're bringing up a good point. It's like we're tapping into this other language when we're connecting to art. This, it's, I know a lot of art forms do have words, but this is like what I hear you speaking to. It's like, we're moving into that spirit realm, the world of the unseen, and accessing the energy and the frequencies that are there as well.
Yes.
Cool.
And we're able to consciously shift with our intent, which is amazing, because so much of our life is unconscious, and so much of our reactions and our actions are from a triggered place, and we don't even realize it.
Can you speak into what is intent? What does that mean?
So I recently learned, I was always into really being clear with my intention, but I learned that intention is like, you have the intention that you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're thinking about doing it. And intent is that clarity of exactly what you're creating in your life. So having a clear intent is a different feeling or a different vibration than having an intention to me. So I guess that's kind of what's been inspiring me lately is working with intent.
I love this. Last night, yeah, last night as I was going to bed, I was reading The Power of Intention by Dyer. And so it's really cool that we're talking about this right now, because I too had that simple, I had intending to do it. And it's also connected to this idea that you're bringing up around responsibility, that, that old way of thinking of intent is like, it's kind of non-committal, but what we're talking about is intent, where you're really focused on the vision, like you're aligning with source and moving clearly and straight for it. That's how I'm understanding you describing it.
Exactly. And you're already feeling it. So even if you don't, so you're not getting caught up in your thoughts or in what you want to create, you are in creating your art, you are feeling it already. And so you're already stepping into your intent while you're creating.
Mm-hmm. I love that. We're just jumping in.
We are.
So Bodhi, can you share with the audience, can you share the definition of art therapy? What is art therapy?
So as an art therapist, I'm trained in art techniques, in human development, in psychology. But basically, I feel like my role as an art therapist is that I am a guide that joins with people to help them to connect to their inner world more deeply. So I hold space for people to express externally what's going on internally, and then I assist them in dialoguing and building a deeper relationship in what they've created. And so it's a very heart-based approach, because the imagery speaks to us through our feelings. And so our artwork becomes a mirror of what's going on inside of us, and I kind of help bridge the gap.
That's so beautiful. I know you can't give details about what happens in your sessions, but overall, like what is something that you notice with this modality in working with people?
Well, I get a lot of clients that they feel like they've worked with other therapists for many years and they've never really gotten to the root of what's going on, because through talking, they just kind of go round and around with what they think about something, or they get pulled into the emotion of it. And so I've found that in a few sessions, I have clients that they'll come in and they came to me because I look nice on the ad online, and they're not feeling like they're very creative. And the number one thing is really building safety and helping people realize that it's really about the process, not about the product. We're not grading it. And that we all know how to create. We all can kind of smear something on paper, and I have clients sometimes that don't feel comfortable creating, and I may create with their guidance, if they're verbal or nonverbal. But basically they're able to see their patterns. I'm not telling them anything. They've created it. I hold space for them to see it and witness it. So they're not able to go, withdraw back into their shell. They have to sit with the image that they created externally and see how it resonates with them. And often I have people, I have a lot of tissues. I have people just in tears when they realize, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this to myself. I didn't realize how I was hurting myself by the way I've been thinking or the way that I've been feeling. And then the other cool thing about art therapy or art in general is that they can create a transitional object. So something to anchor in the wisdom that they gained, the learning that they experienced, and they take that with them. They created it. I didn't prescribe it to them. And they take that home and it reminds them of their own inner wisdom, their own inner symbolism speaks to them. So huge shifts happen in a really short amount of time.
So beautiful. I'm a shamanic practitioner, and what's coming to mind as you're sharing this, I love how it's so connected. It's like these art prescriptions, the way, I love stories that shamans prescribe art. Like if someone isn't doing well, or there's a deeper emotional or physical disease, there's prescribed art, like go make this. And I'm seeing that with some of my clients too, like the healing effects, and in my own life too, like how, not only does art communicate in this way, but like the act of creating is healing itself. Have you seen this as well with your clients? Like there's a newfound relationship with creativity through your process?
Oh, absolutely. And it's so ancient. If you, like you said, you're a shamanic practitioner, a lot of this ancient healing is being creative. It's creating, it's singing, it's dancing, it's painting, it's all of it. And yeah, I just think it's so beautiful. It's like, right, in our roles, we're just helping people get back in touch with who they really are authentically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what are some of the transformations that you see when people do get in touch with who they are again? Are there some miraculous things you've seen?
Yes, many miraculous things. Again, it's very individual. It may be, oh gosh, it may be something as subtle as somebody realizing how hard they are on themselves and
Mm.
how much they've been hurting themselves and blocking themselves from love. And they realize that they express the color love through pink, but they hate the color pink and they never wear pink. And so they may paint a painting of a pink flower and put it in their home. And every day they sit with that pink flower and they start wearing pink, and they're speaking to their subconscious mind and expanding that vibration of self-compassion in themselves. And the next thing you know, they're attracting new experiences in their life that they've never had. They're attracting new friends. It's like, it's just this continual journey of expansion and opening.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's one sample.
Beautiful. And like what I hear you say too is, it starts with the self, like that the self-love, the self-compassion is first and foremost. And then there's this radiating outward. That's where the expansion is, right? Like starting from inside and then it reflects out.
Exactly.
So beautiful. So just actually, can we talk a little bit more about self-love?
Yeah.
So how do you speak with your clients about self-love? How does that conversation start when you're working with clients?
Well, it's amazing that people don't like it very much. They don't seem to like that topic, or, they'll say, oh, I don't do that. Or, I don't even want to go there. Or, like, I'm just so good at giving love to others that's really what I focus on. And then through their artwork, I help kind of point out that they're really giving from this depleted place, not from this overflowing place like you're talking about. And then when we start having the conversation about, how do you do with, just treating yourself with genuine kindness as you would somebody you love or care about, they kind of laugh and say, well, that's selfish, or I would feel guilty if I did that. And so from an energetic perspective, we start to discuss how, from a long time ago, different scenarios kind of teach us to close up our hearts and self-protection. And, maybe it worked at a time, but basically when we do that, we're blocking ourselves not only from fully feeling love from others, but from genuinely feeling love from ourselves. And that, like you said, that's where it starts. We need to genuinely feel love, authentic love for ourselves, and then it's kind of beams out of us to others. It overflows out of us. And so I guess we do have a conversation from an energetic perspective.
Yeah, so it's filling yourself up, connecting to that abundance so it flows outward instead of coming from that depleted place.
Yes, or trying to feel lovable because other people depend on you. Being feeling worthy of love because you're human, just as human as anybody else. And I feel like through art, we're able to really see how we block ourselves from love, and that's life-changing for people.
Absolutely. Oh, the work that you do is so powerful. Thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And Bodhi, I know you have a creative practice for us. Can we shift into this practice?
I do. So thank you so much. I chose a practice today that has a little bit of directive to it. So there are directive and non-directive approaches, but a lot of times doing this work with people, I find that they're so stuck in their thinking mind. I have to kind of start in a directive modality and kind of expand from that. And then we'll talk a little bit more about how to go a little bit deeper in a different way. So do you have some paper handy?
I do.
Okay. And do you have some markers or writing?
Yes, I've got all my markers right here.
Okay, so I'm going to guide you through a brief exercise, and those of you that are watching, feel free once I share the exercise to pause the video and take as long as you need. Some people do this very quickly, and for some people, it can take quite a bit of time. So again, it's not about the product. This is purely just an authentic expression of what's going on inside of you. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to do a small body map. So I would like you to take a marker and you're just going to draw a general outline of your body. For some people, they like to go into a lot of detail and make sure it really looks like them. That's up to you. But for sake of today, it's okay if you look like a gingerbread person. But the most important thing is that, that it's an image that you created. Sometimes people like to use kind of pre-drawn body images, and it's actually not as powerful if you aren't using your own imagery. And Alexis, I'll just trust that you'll let me know whenever you're ready.
Okay, I am ready.
Okay, so basically for this process, I just want to set the precedent that we are getting curious and that we are holding space, that, you know, we love ourselves enough that we are really going to get curious about what emotional energy, physical energy we're holding in our bodies. And so it's really important that you be honest. So for you, Alexis, you may be sharing yours on this, so, you know, be as open as you feel comfortable in this moment, but you can do a little bit more exploration in your own time. But for everybody else, it's really important that you're fully honest and that you're in a safe space so you don't feel like somebody's going to walk in the room. So in the moment, I'm just going to guide you inward. And what I'd like you to do is we're just going to ground for a moment and just check in with our bodies. So why don't you take a deep breath in till it hurts to breathe any deeper. And as you breathe out, just let your breath go down through your body, down through the soles of your feet, and down into the earth. For some people, this can be a little bit of a terrifying or uncomfortable process because they're so used to disconnecting from how they feel. But again, remembering we're holding safe space to get curious. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just check into how you feel in your body. So you're going to notice if there is any emotional heaviness in any part of your body. And you may have a sense of what emotion the heaviness is tied to, or you may just notice that there are places that feel a little heavy or a little blocked. And they may make sense and they may seem silly. So you may have some weird feelings on the bottoms of your feet and you have no idea why, and that's fine. We're not going to be thinking about it. It's a purely felt process. And I also want to give you permission to tune in to any physical pain or physical sensations, any tightness. And for some people, they also enjoy bringing their awareness to their mind's eye. And you may choose to project this little drawing that you just created into your mind's eye. Just imagine there's a little movie screen in front of you. And while you are tuning into how you feel in your body, you may be practicing if you can maybe see any shapes or any colors. in any parts of your body. We all have different ways of receiving information. And the other piece that I would like you to bring awareness to right now also is just noticing what kind of thoughts that you often have or that you've been having lately. Often we have many thoughts that we would never dare share with anybody, but this is your safe space to start to let those out. So I want you to be aware of any negative self-talk, any things you might believe to be true, whether it's positive or negative. And it may also be positive thoughts or positive self-talk or worries. So just holding this awareness with your eyes closed, what I'd like you to do now, you can kind of rub your legs or rub your cheeks if you need to, and you're going to open your eyes. So we've activated our mind's eye just by bringing awareness to it. Our awareness has expanded into our physical body. And what I'd like you to do now is using your markers or pastels or paints, I would like you to, again, continuing to hold the feelings and the awareness, I'd like you to express in your body what emotional and physical energy is in your body. And once you've done that through symbols or colors, feel free to take a pen or a marker. And some people really like to write what it is that's going on, or for the thoughts, it can be really important just to start to jot down what some of that process is. So let's check in a little bit. Alexis, you can let me know when you feel you're at a good place.
Okay.
Everyone else, feel free to pause if you need to for as long as you need to.
So this is just intuitively filling in with colors, shapes, what's going on in the body.
Yes. So if you do feel a heaviness in the heart, for instance, you may draw that cloud. You may draw a big X. I have people that draw large gates over their heart. So there can be all different types of symbolism. For those of you that this feels really uncomfortable, feel free to write. Take your pen and just mark the area with a dot and just start to write what you're aware of. We'll go from there.
Okay, so yeah, viewers, you can absolutely take your time and pause this video and, and also hop in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, and, we'll be talking about what's coming up. Feel free to share your image or just what arose for you when you did this practice. So what's really interesting, Bodhi, is when we were doing the scan, my body felt really clear. It felt really clear, but where I was feeling some blocks or stagnation, which I hadn't noticed before, was in my jaw. And
interesting.
Yeah, and I know that has to do with when I have a lot on my plate and I'm doing, like a stress reaction. That's so that was great to see because I was not tuned in to the fact that my jaw's feeling a little bit tight. So that's really great information.
Nice. Thank you very much. Would you like me to share with you mine?
Yeah.
So what I started to be aware of, hi, had I done this a while ago, it would have looked very different. I noticed that I was feeling very grounded because I did a lot of grounding before I came on here.
Yeah.
I was feeling some anxiety just about being on a screen. But also the same, I noticed that lately I have had a lot of, I could have, in my own time, I will explore this a little more, but there are a lot of different thoughts that are in my mind. And so when you're doing this work on your own, again, you may want to choose larger paper. You may want to take some notebook paper and do a lot of journaling. But the most important thing, again, is to really be aware of what energy is in your body. And if you don't know, like if you created something and you're really not clear about it, put this up somewhere in your space so you can really sit with it, and it will speak to you through your feelings. And with your thoughts, again, the number one thing actually is really being aware of what you're thinking about, because thoughts lead to feelings and feelings lead to how we act. So if you have a lot of thoughts that you're aware of, that you're a terrible person, that you're not good enough, for example, this is really important for you to start to notice how you're hurting yourself. And I can talk with you a little bit about how to go a little bit deeper in shifting.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's interesting as you're showing that. I'll show mine too. So usually it was interesting because the shape of my body is so different than I usually make. This one feels a lot more solid than I've ever drawn my body before. So that was interesting. But yeah, this was like water and my heart's feeling clear, but then it's almost like that, like something in my jaw area. So yeah, we would love to hear how you go a little bit deeper and shifting it.
Yeah. So, so once you're aware, so this is simply a tool in awareness. And once you're aware, then you are able to take conscious responsibility for shifting. And so some people enjoy doing another body map where they may fill in with just simply with the colors of how they would like to be feeling. And you just really focus on the vibration of the colors. And if you notice, for instance, those thoughts coming in, you're just going to be using your breathing to consciously clear those thoughts as you're coloring. And then you would hang that piece up so that every day you don't need words on it. You're just tuning into the energy and the frequency of the colors that are within your body that you created. And you can keep this for the template. So as life goes on and you continue to get triggered, keep putting things on here, or do one of these every day, or do one of these once a week. But it's just a great tool in helping things that are invisible, help us take responsibility for that.
Yeah, thank you. I know, such a great mirror, using art as a mirror.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Bodhi. So, so everyone, if you want to jump in the Facebook group, we'd love to hear from you. What arose for you doing this practice? And I know Bodhi also has a free gift for you as well.
Yeah. So when you subscribe to my newsletter, I'm going to send you information on working with the mandorla as a tool for increased self-awareness and healing. And the mandorla is an ancient symbol, so I'll just show you briefly. It's the two circles. So it's a deeper, it's a more abstract way of working with what we just did. And so I actually do this work with painting. So depending on how creative you want to get, you can go as deep as you want. But you're able to work with the dualities. So life isn't just all heavy or all joy and beautiful. It's both. So you work with one duality, you work with the other, and the transformation and the healing comes in the higher perspective in the center. And so I'll give you a lot more information on how to work with this symbol more deeply for yourself.
I love this. Yeah. So this is really working directly with art as a tool for healing.
Yes.
Beautiful. Bodhi, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience before we wrap up our session?
Well, I guess I just invite all of you to continue to get curious with your own practice, and just hold space to let whatever needs to emerge. And if you have somebody that feels safe to share this with, it can be really powerful to have a witness. And so please take advantage of the Facebook group. Alexis and I will be able to see what you've done and maybe share some insights as well.
Beautiful. Yeah. And the Facebook group is private, just so, it's a very nurturing group. It's a safe space, a safe container. So yes, please jump on there. And Bodhi, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you so much, Alexis.
Beautiful. And yay. And everyone, thank you so much for being here. And please check out the rest of the interviews. We've got some incredible guests, and we'll see you in the Facebook group, and we'll see you later. Bye.